Huawei, proud sponsor of Tech Busters.
Arthur Goldstuck is the MD of World Wide Worx. He was one of the keynote presenters here at the Sony Xperia business event. Arthur, you highlighted how smartphones are really growing quite dramatically, not only on the African continent, but in South Africa as well. I mean, feature phones are now something of the past. We're just seeing this incredible growth of smartphones in our market.
It's a defining feature of the whole technology space in South Africa at the moment, but certainly of the mobile space. This year, for example, we'll have something like 25 million smartphone users in South Africa. That's in a market of 42 million phone users. So you can see we've passed the halfway mark of the proportion of people using smartphones, and it's just accelerating. Every year we're seeing a massive new user base coming online, buying entry-level smartphones, and suddenly having this tool that can access the internet. The problem is not all of them can afford to access the internet because the cost of data remains high.
Yeah, you mentioned this, and you compared India to South Africa. It's a very interesting example because they dropped their prices of data dramatically in the last few years, and you've just seen this explosion of technology being used all over the place. But yet, there's a reluctance in South Africa to do the same thing. Where is that? Is it coming from the networks? Is it coming from government? Should government be saying to the networks, listen, you will drop your prices down more dramatically?
There's a subtle secret to the high prices of data in this country, and that is that the networks want to manage demand very tightly so that they can control the extent to which they have to invest in new mobile data infrastructure. And the way they do that is to pitch the price of ad hoc data, in other words, paying as you go, to pitch that so high that people don't want to use that and will rather buy bundles up front. That's the thinking. But the thinking is wrong, because the average person cannot budget to spend money up front on a data bundle that they don't know when they'll use it or how they'll use it. So there has to be a change in the mindset of the networks to bring down that ceiling cost of data.
Now, your focus today was bring your own device, and everybody at the moment, it's quite an interesting thing to have seen over the last few years where, like 5 years ago, companies would give you this technology, this is what you're going to do. Now, consumers are saying, I want to use my own device in my own work environment. And, you know, there's no more, the lines are now blurred, you know, there's no consumer, there's no enterprise, it's like one right now. And I think that customers and enterprises, businesses obviously face a challenge. A security point of view is a massive challenge for them.
Yes, it's funny. It started with the bosses or senior executives bringing in tablets and saying to the IT department, accommodate this in the network. And it was relatively easy because you had limited range of devices. But the moment that became acceptable, it opened the door to middle management and then everyone bringing in their own devices and also demanding that the IT department accommodate it. And that really created the bring your own device environment. But the birth of bring your own device also explains why it's so complicated and why there's currently chaos in corporations and in large businesses, also small businesses, to cope with this range of devices that have to be secure on the network.
So you've heard of BYOD, bring your own device, but my good friend Arthur has introduced a new word to this complicated lexicon of words and in the world of technology today. What's the new one that you introduced today?
There are two of them. There's BBOD, which started the BYOD revolution, and that was boss brings own device. And if it wasn't for BBOD, we wouldn't have BYOD. But the boss started it, and now everybody else is doing it. But now what we have is BYOD OT, which BYOD, bring your own device, OT, not over the top, but bring your own device or two. Because no one's bringing one device or one own device to work now. They're bringing two or more. They're bringing a smartphone and a tablet, or they're bringing two smartphones because one is for home use and one is for work use, but they also have to access the network on their home use device or on their tablet. So typically they're bringing two devices to work. Therefore it's BYOD OT.
Okay, too many B's for my liking, but Arthur, it's amazing how technology and connectivity has just accelerated so many things. You spoke about the Internet of Things, you spoke about, you know, our continent is lighting up. Where do you see it? And it's accelerating at such a rapid pace. I don't even think you predicted this 5 years ago. Where do you see it going in the next 2 to 3 years? 23.4 6 million mobile smartphone users in South Africa. How is that going to grow in the next 3 years?
There's the rough road and the smooth road. The rough road still looks very positive in terms of growth, and that's a number of new internet users coming on board. In fact, over the next 5 years, we'll probably see the internet user base rising from around 16 million to around 25 million users. And that's if it's the rough road. If it's the smooth road with data prices coming down and devices becoming even cheaper, but people also becoming confident in this whole new smart and online environment, we could see it rising to as high as 30 million users over the next 5 years.
Who has got it right in Africa? Outside of South Africa, who's got that model right about price, giving users what they want, giving them the connectivity?
There's a problem with that exact challenge of getting it right with price and quality. So in Kenya, for example, they've got it right with price and sparked a massive boom in smartphone use and internet use. The problem is they haven't got the quality side right yet in terms of the quality of the infrastructure. So what you're getting for that price is not so great. In South Africa, we're getting the quality right, believe it or not, but the pricing is still too high. Nigeria, they're wrestling with both of those. The price coming down rapidly, but the quality of the infrastructure being quite woeful. So you've got this huge growth in the number of internet users in Nigeria. You've got an explosion of smartphone usage as well, but the infrastructure is so poor and power outages are so frequent that people find themselves more often frustrated than empowered with these devices and with that access.
Arthur Goldstuck, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Aki.